Welcome to the 624 Pod, your home for all things independent films. We're going to discuss all the positives and negatives when it comes to independent filmmaking. We're going to have incredible guests from the film industry talk about behind-the-scenes experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, and how the industry has changed in the past 10, 20
minutes.
30, yeah, minutes, hours, years. That's the point. It's always changing. And of course, we will always focus on independent filmmaking right here in our state of New Jersey. I'm Tom Baldinger.
And I'm Mark O'Donnell.
All right, let's do this. All right, so we've kicked off season 2. We've had some great guests, and
It's been a lot of fun.
Been a lot of fun. So I think we've got another awesome guest coming on with us today.
This is exciting.
So we'd like to introduce Ernie O'Donnell. Thank you for coming on to 624 Pod.
Yes, sir.
Ernie is an actor, famous actor. He's done a lot of writer, director, producer. Lives here in New Jersey. 624 Pod, Ernie. We're talking about independent filmmaking, specifically here in New Jersey. So welcome to the show, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Ernie worked on our mini series, our web series called Checked Out, which has not been released. Did I send you your episode?
Yeah, you sent me some shit. It was good.
Okay. All right. Because
I'm so amazed. I gotta say, man. I was questioning it when I got to set because I've never seen it. I mean, I've seen it on big productions, but in the independent world, it's very rare. I've never seen it. The 2-camera setup,
right?
You shoot both shots, and so you don't have to move shit around and waste people's time. And I even said it to you when we got on set. I was like, "You're getting this? I mean, this is working." And you're like, "Dude, we got it. It works." And when you showed me the footage, I was like, "Holy fuck, man!
He's got a couple killer cameramen.
Yeah, he's pulling this off. It's very impressive. I gotta say,
thank you. Sometimes the dog finds his ass, you know.
Yes,
lovable.
No, well, lovable ass. Thank you.
No, well, I'll tell you something. Thank you for that, and I appreciate that. But I can only take that much credit. It's the guys, the crew.
Oh yeah, you
guys. That was, I'll be honest with you, when you came on, that was day 3 or day 4 for us. And that was my first time working with 2 cameras. Not that day, for that project.
Oh, okay.
And because everything we shot before, the music videos, Who's Jenna, some of the other stuff, it was always on 1 camera. And Larry Gress and Richard Hall were the camera guys, the DPs. And they approached me with doing 2 cameras. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't know. Let's do it. And they walked. We had a pre-production, and they walked me through all of it. And they said, this is how it's going to work. And after day 1, I was like, holy crap, I love this. And we've been shooting everything on 2 cameras. We just shot the Beer League, the pilot with Jimmy Plummer. We shot that on 2. Like it's definitely choreography, but it's not me. It's those guys. They do some great work.
Yeah, I mean, if they got the correct choreography, which it seems that they do. I mean, it saves a lot of time. I mean,
I watch them when they're working, and you can see that they have their own language, and it's not just a language; they have their own body language. Like Rich knows what Larry's doing just by how he starts adjusting.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, that's my fucking iPhone connected to my computer. That's my.
I think I just had a stroke.
But they he sees how his shoulder's moving, and all of a sudden he knows where to move. Yeah. And you just watch it work, and you just wow, okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I was totally impressed. I mean, I've seen a lot of cool camera work, but as far as the independent scene goes, that was pretty nice, my man. I got to
thank you. It was a pleasure working with you, and we got to do some more work together. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed working with you. We had a lot of fun with you. You jumped right into it. You were a true professional, and
great timing.
Yeah, I mean, I never had to give you any notes. Like it was just, we had a couple different guests on. We had Siobhan Fallon Hogan and Dan
Girl.
She's awesome.
Dude.
She's awesome.
I've worked with her a few times. I've been doing stuff with her at the theater there, and
she's fantastic. But it's working with people like I haven't worked with her yet. We worked with Dan Loria. And working with guys like yourself, like true professionals, like it's great to come on a set. And look, Ernie, this as well as I do. Like there's a lot of actors out there that are working, and you want to get them into the independent work, but there's some that kind of have to kind of force them into it. And then there's people like these guys, right, who just come on and, you know, makes our job as directors and producers so much easier.
Well, and as doing independent casting makes the director look great. You get a guy like Ernie step in, he knocks him out of the park. You don't have to give any notes. It's like, wow, how many pages did we shoot today? Because pros come in and just make it happen.
So talk to us. What's going on with you, man? What are you working on? What's next? What's happening?
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Siobhan, who's a good friend of mine. I just finished a project with her son, Pete.
Pete, yeah.
Yeah, so Pete Hogan, great kid. But he's involved in a horror movie I'm doing with my boy Troy Burbank from Leonardo Boys Productions.
Nice.
So it's a horror film. So he wanted to go back to doing some horror. We did a serious short. No, I wouldn't say a short. Well, I guess technically it is. It was like 30 something minutes, where I played an abusive drunk who loses his wife and has trouble with his son, and you know, falls off the wagon. All my first real dive into something that I've never tried before in this movie, Wasted Blind, that Troy had wrote with me in mind. And I don't know if he put it out on streaming yet.
Okay.
I think he's working on some stuff to get it out there.
What's it called again? Wasted Blind?
Wasted Blind, yeah. But we did the film festival circuit. It won some stuff. We did.
Awesome.
Yeah, we did okay at Golden Door up at Jersey City.
Servino's place. Yeah.
It won best short drama.
Oh,
but,
congrats.
Yeah, Troy. I mean, Troy's, you know, been doing everything and anything with in the independent world to try to make his mark. But you know, he pushed me to the limit because I usually, you know me, I mean, I usually lean more into the comedy stuff, and you know, I like fucking around and having fun. So he pushed me into that, and thankfully he did, because it was my first shot, and you know, I think I did okay. I mean, I'm never one to pat myself on the back, but you know, I was like, oh, okay, you know, I get a few more of these under my belt, I think I'd be pretty good at it. But with that, he's like, all right, I got something else I want to do, and now I want to go into horror. And I was like, well, fuck, I'm in. Anything to do with horror, I'm down. I love horror, man. It's so much fun.
I'd be afraid to do a horror because I'm scared at horror films, so I'd be afraid to do one. Did you?
It's great. We shot it in the Strauss House in Atlantic Highlands.
Oh, nice.
Where Don't Go in the House, I think, was in the late 70s, was shot there as a horror movie, which is pretty iconic. So he was friendly with the lady who takes care of it up there, and we shot it up there and did about 11 days or 10 days in the house, maybe, and then a couple days on location.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I mean, there's some good kills. I got a really nice kill, and it's just, yeah. I mean, they're a blast. And you know, when it comes to independent, making something like that, we work with a guy called Mark Frado. I don't know if you ever heard of Mark.
Know the name.
He does tons of independent stuff. And this guy Mark is a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he comes out there. His setup is simple, and this goes for all filmmakers. I mean, you do what makes you feel comfortable, and what you know you can accomplish. And stuff that, I mean, of course, it's great to push the envelope when you're filming shit.
Yeah.
But if you got a rhythm and it works, you stick with it.
Right.
And Mark's got a rhythm. I mean, he does the lighting, he does the audio, he does the cameras. I mean, he's running around like a nut. He's got the sweatband on his head. You know, he's doing all these things, setting it all up. Everybody always asks, Mark, you need help? You want me to do this? Nope, I got it. Because he knows how he wants things lit. He knows how the sound's going to be, how it's going to bounce off this and that.
That's awesome.
And he doesn't even use, which he shot my short a couple years ago, and I had the what is it? The fucking clapboard
slate.
The slate. Thank you. I had the slate all ready to go, and he's like, "What are you doing with that?" I was like, "Well, we're going to slate every scene and every take." He goes, "I don't need that." I was like, "What?" He goes, I don't need that. I don't use it. I don't have to have it. I'm doing everything. I got it. It's all in my head. I have my notes." So he's got his own little magical way of doing things.
Wow.
And it works. and he's he's cost effective.
That's great. That's smart, especially with independent filmmaking. You got to
Yeah,
be, you got to watch
right,
your.
right. You got to watch your dollars. So my man Troy is able, and myself are able to make things for not a really an elaborate amount of money. And plus, you know how it is, bro. We call in favors left and right.
Oh, all the time, all the
Yeah.
time, all the
That's
time.
that's what it's all about. I mean, you got to call in favors. Can I get this location? Can I get that location? Can I borrow this car? Can I borrow, this amount of clothing? Do you have a fake? We got fake guns. We got fake pipes. All this. Because that shit costs money.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's, and it's funny. And Ernie, you've probably experienced this with people that, friends or family of yours that are not in the industry, and they
Right.
come on set, right? And they're watching the film being made, and they're going, I think we said it yesterday when we were shooting some pickups. We had an extra on, and Jimmy Plumbo yells out, he goes, "All right." He goes, "So this," because we were shooting with some drones and stuff, and just pickup shots, some B-roll stuff. And we were shooting that for a good 45, 50 minutes, just catching some. And he was like, and Jimmy just yells out to the extra. The extras are like, "How long do we got to be out there here?" And Jimmy said to him, he goes, "Dude," he goes, "this is like for like 5 or 6 seconds, but we need to get it all,
Yeah.
And there have been people, like Ernie, like I said, like you probably had friends, family, they come on set, they watch and they go, "Wow, this is a process. Like I didn't realize how long it takes, how expensive it can be." And continuity is enormous, right? And it's a big process of independent filmmaking.
Or you film something and you put on social media, you just wrapped this, and then somebody like, I'm from Ohio, so I'll have a friend from Ohio go like, "Oh, it's like, when's it coming out?" And I go, "I don't know. We just wrapped yesterday." And they're like, "Yeah, so what? Like a month?"
Yeah.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to Troy the other day, and I kind of knew the answer, but he likes to speed track some stuff. And when we wrapped, I said, "So when do you want to get it out?" And he goes, February probably." I was like, "February?" I said, we can get it done faster than that." He goes, "Yeah, but I'm gonna finesse this one a little bit, you know." But it's it's a weird kind of dynamic that I kind of live in. I love independent film. I love supporting it. The theater I own in conjunction with Kevin, the Smod Castle Cinemas,
Yeah.
my friend Ashley and Jeff Swanton. We embrace everything independent. Anybody wants to bring a film there, we bring it there. Our rates are cheap, because there's nothing greater than having an independent filmmaker get their movie in a real movie theater.
Yeah.
I mean, if you deal with the distribution companies, for you to get it into a movie theater, it costs you a good amount of money. I mean, it ain't cheap,
Right.
and they're always taking their cut. And if you go straight up to AMC or Cinemark or somebody like that, they're banging you over the head too.
Yeah.
But we keep it pretty damn low. We offer 50-50 splits, things like that. So we've been doing really, really well with that.
Are you having a lot of, I mean, I follow you guys on Facebook. So my question is for general audience. Are you getting a lot of it? Because I know what the answer is, but are you getting a lot of independent filmmakers coming to you, Smod Castle, and going, I need the screen. I want to do this. Are you getting a lot of people out there coming out to you guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, the good thing, I think what we did is, when we took over, I immediately had the Smod Castle Film Festival.
Yes.
I needed people to get introduced to the cinema, the theater, what we were doing, and how we wanted to embrace the independent community, because that's where Kevin built his career. He's an icon in the independent cinema.
For sure.
So we wanted to do that, and that really did well for us. And we gained some traction, and people just started calling us and wanting to do things and showing their movies there. Now, listen, I know that a lot of people just want to show their movie there to say that they had it at Kevin Smith's Smod Castle.
Sure.
That's fine. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks great. People respect it sometimes. I mean, whatever it is to get them in the door. But the key is to actually see your film on a real movie screen in a real movie house with your friends, family, and other people that pay to go see it. It's the greatest feeling in the world. And it doesn't matter and we've had this, if 6 people show up or if 230 people show up. The numbers really don't matter. I mean, the fact that you accomplished something, you finished a project, and you got it on the big screen. That's all that really matters. I mean, I don't care if the movie isn't that great or if it's wonderful. I keep all that stuff aside. It's the fact that you accomplished that.
Yep.
And we're able to get it into a theater, and the fact that we're a small part of that, that is so rewarding, my man. I'm telling you, it's
Ernie, you're absolutely right. It's the best feeling in the world, right? To get to see your screen, to see your project up on the screen, and and you heard House of Independence is closing.
Oh yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, House of Independence is closing. It's gone. I think it's closing. I just saw a post about it. The reason I'm bringing it up is my first film. We did Who's Jenna there, right? And Who's Jenna? Look, I mean, I'm proud of the film, but is it like the best movie ever made? No, like it's it has some funny lines. It's fun, right? It was my first feature, but to your point, right? So we rented the House of Independence. We had the original band that recorded music for the movie. We had them play live after the screening, and we had about like 200 people there, and it was fantastic, that feeling of it was on the screen, right? And what you're offering to independent filmmakers, I would think that if I had a feature film and I had an opportunity to put it at the theater that Kevin Smith is a part of, like, why wouldn't I be jumping all over that? Not only for that opportunity to see that screen, but for marketing purposes. Like, me, you know what I mean? To me, that in order for you to get people to see it, you have to market it, right? And when a lot of independent filmmakers, I don't think about this.
They don't.
When you put your budget together, you need to have a line item called marketing and advertising, right? You need to have some money aside for that, because if you don't, you're going to have, to your point, you might only have 6 people in the movie theater. Now, it's a great feeling, but wouldn't it even be better to have?
Yes, it definitely is. And I've had this conversation with many filmmakers, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, I will put your film on our social media. I will post it. It'll be on our website.
Yeah.
That if we're lucky, I don't promise it to everybody, but I said, if we can, and I'll try, I'll get Kevin to post it on Instagram, all these different things to help where we can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you don't try and push and market yourself, like you're saying, it's not going to go. You're not going to sell tickets.
And
you got to push.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
You do. I mean, you're right. I mean, you know the deal. I mean, if you don't put the work in, you're not going to get the results.
What do you think about what's going on? I mean, now that SAG is, they've come to an agreement. Things seem to, the dust has settled in a way. But I was talking to somebody the other day about distribution, whether it's movies, whether it's TV, and your producing friend told me she was out at AFM, and she said to me, she's like, Tom, she's like, it is the wild, wild west right now for distribution. She goes, nobody knows what the hell is going on. It's all
everybody wants to think they know,
but nobody knows. And I guess this comes back to what you guys are offering, because it's the wild, wild west, right? And because nobody knows, why not take advantage here in New Jersey of a place like the Smodcastle Film, the theater? Like, use it, right? Take advantage of it. You have a venue to do something, and if you're fortunate to, get some of the right distributors, or maybe you get an agent or two. Let me ask you about that. How is that going as far as some of the projects that are coming? Are they trying to bring in, the appropriate industry representatives, or are people just kind of missing the boat on that, do you think?
Well, what we all like, especially
how to do it.
Say again?
Or they don't know how to do it.
Oh, so what we kind of offered, and what we're trying to do is, like during the film festival, we bring in distributors, and we have these discussions and panels with the filmmakers about what they need to do with their films, and the right process, what to be, leery of. There's a lot of things, you know how it is, dude. There's distributors are like the devil. I mean, most of them suck. I mean, that's just the way it is. There are a few transparent ones out there that are pretty decent and okay, I mean, I'm with a distributor now that I'm very happy with, MVD Entertainment, and I love those guys over there. But I think you've dealt with some of the similar ones that I have, and they just eat you up. But
Oh God. And they
yeah.
spit you out, and they don't care.
And you don't get no money in return.
That's right.
So we try to inform a lot of those filmmakers what to look for, what not to look for, or just self-distribute yourself, because
Right.
that is definitely an option, and it works if you hustle. But I will say this, because of our film festival, we had a handful of films that got picked up for distribution through those discussions.
That's awesome.
through our
That's
festival.
awesome for you guys. That's awesome for your next years going forward.
Right. So that makes me feel really, really good. And I have no problem shitting on distributors, because, it's just, I just can't stand. I mean, what we need the most of is originality.
Yeah.
And it's all in independent filmmaking. That's where it's at.
Right.
I mean, and they're just abusing the shit out of these young filmmakers and people who are trying to pour their hearts into these stories, and they're just, give them some fucking respect. You know what I'm saying? And let them do their thing, and give them a little taste, a little something to move on to the next project. I mean, not everybody has that sugar daddy of somebody that has money that can just keep, funneling into your project.
Say that again, Ernie. Not everybody has what? Say that again.
Not everybody has that sugar daddy that can funnel money into their projects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There are a few out there, we know it, but most people have to, they got to scratch and claw and do everything and anything to get money. And, it's tough. And at the end of the day, it's a business, and, ultimately you want to make money. But if you're making independent film to make money, then you're in the wrong business.
Right. Well, right. I mean,
it's all about the passion.
It's all
and
about
art.
the passion and the art, right? I think this guy here, Eddie Van Halen, said that when he was growing up, and he said, or when he became famous, he said, look, he goes, someone asked him, what would you tell, an up and coming, music artist? And he said, if you want to be a rock star, you're in the wrong business. You want to be a musician, stay in the business, right? Of course, if he was Eddie Van Halen and he was making millions of dollars at that point, but
yeah, but
I think there's some truth to it, right? It's
truth. It's a simple little thing. Listen, I don't know everything, but I've been around the business for, almost 30 years, and I've seen different levels of it. I've worked with Kevin, so I've seen the big, studio film system. I've been involved in it. Not that I've, knee deep in it, but as of late, I'm kind of getting a little deep into it. It's good. But my point is this, I did this, I do the small roles, you do the background, you do the work, you do the hustle, you do these independent films, and you're always like, well, when's it going to come? When's the shot going to come? When's it going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Everybody's waiting. And most people just give up. But if you grind it out and just, follow the path and be passionate about it, eventually, if it's meant to be, you're going to find it, and it's going to find you. And it took me almost, I'm going to turn 55 in a couple of days. It took me into my 50s to where it finally came together.
Right.
And now things are starting to happen.
But that's the thing, is you just got to keep grinding. You got to keep grinding.
You just grind it. And, does it suck? Yes, it does suck. But you know what? Like we said before, if you love something, you don't give a shit about all that other stuff. You just do it to do it. That's why a lot of these kids are out there just making films, regardless of how good they are or the production value or whatever. And I mean, we all can't be Scorsese or Spielberg.
Right.
We'd love to, but you can't. But that doesn't matter. Again, as long as you're making it and it's making you happy, and it's, you're fueling that fire, it's there's no better feeling in the world. And what you guys are doing, you've been working hard for years now, bro. And, you keep pushing, and that's what you got to do. You got yourself a nice crew behind you and a nice cast, and you don't forget certain people. You bring people around you. You surround yourself with good people, and that's another thing that people forget about.
That's true.
You gotta surround yourself with the right cats,
Right.
because if you don't, it's just not going to work. You got to have a good environment when you're filming.
No, you have to exactly. You have to have good relationships, because those good relationships lead to good networking. You don't know who they know. You know, all of a sudden you get a call, you have dinner, you know, I sit down with Ernie. I say, Ernie, I need a distributor. Whatever. Ernie goes, hey, Tom, you know what? Call this guy. All right, let me give him a call. Guy goes, you know, I can't do anything with that project, but you know what? I know somebody else that might like this. Boom. Right. But it's that constant networking. It's that constant grind. I hope people who are listening to this podcast, when we air this, independent filmmakers, what Ernie is saying, just keep grinding. Don't give up. This business has more no's than yeses. And you know, it's funny. I've gone through periods, and Ernie, you probably have as well, where I sit back. Mark, you have probably too, where you go back and you go, excuse my language, but you go, what the fuck am I doing this for? Right? Like, why am I doing this? Right?
If you're a stand-up comic, you do that for 6 hours a day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Gig. Fuck am I? I'm like a long-short truck driver, long haul truck driver that's delivering jokes. What the fuck am I doing with my life?
Well, you guys, listen, you comics are a different breed, man.
Holy shit, are they ever, right?
I gave you guys all the props. I tell you, it's amazing what you guys do, and you guys don't get enough credit. I tried. Listen, I'm no stand-up comedian. I mean, I do stuff off the cuff, and if it's funny, it's funny. If it's not, it's not. But I don't give a fuck. I'm from Jersey, so it's, you know, you just let it fly, you know.
That's the state slogan. When I get funny, sometimes I don't give a fuck. I'm from Jersey.
Exactly. But I did a few years ago. I did a roasting of Brian O'Halloran with my boy Chris Covert. And,
nice.
And I said to Chris, I was like, dude, I'm no stand-up. He goes, yeah, but you're funny, man. He's like, you do this, you do that. I was like, yeah, but what you do is different. I mean, all you guys, it's just amazing. I mean, how you guys are just, you know, your timing and the way you know, portray a story, and it's just, I said, I can't do that. And he goes, trust me, you'll have fun. So I wrote some shit, I did it, but I was like fucking fast. I mean, he's like, oh man, dude. He's like, you were great, but you were fucking quick. You were the quickest one up there. I mean, I was telling the jokes, but I wasn't I wasn't like a pro like you. I wasn't letting them settle in. You know, I didn't let him absorb it. You know, I heard the laugh, and boom, next one, boom, boom, boom. I was like fucking Speedy Gonzalez up there. You know, it felt kind of weird, but it gave me a whole new respect for what you guys do. So I got to applaud you, man. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, I've seen some of your shit on set, and you were funny as fuck. So,
thank you, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed you and Patty together. You guys going back and forth. It was so hard not to laugh out loud.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm off camera. Thank God. When you guys were arguing, I was off camera because I was cracking up. It was good stuff.
It was great stuff.
Yeah,
and
it was very good. I mean, the whole experience was awesome. I mean, you know, I got no complaints. Never.
We're looking forward to making some announcements for next year on what's going to be happening with Checked Out. So we've got some irons in the fire, things working on it. So
yeah, keep me posted. I mean, I'd love to see I always like to see what you got going on. I mean,
we did a full 9 episodes, so we have actually a whole full season for the web series. Yeah, so it's all done in the can, ready to go.
Very nice.
But we right now we can't say anything, but
we got some fun stuff.
We got some good stuff going on.
Right.
I know you got to run, so it's and I don't want to keep you too much longer. So we have a question. We're gonna have you back. We have to have you back.
Yeah.
But we have one question that we ask all of our audience, and I didn't prep you for this question, but I know you can bang this out. You can bang this answer out.
He's gonna have good answers. I'm excited.
Me too.
We'll see.
All right, here we go. Right now, your 3 favorite films.
In the theaters now?
No, just in general. Just your 3 favorite movies.
Thanks. You get 3 movies.
Well, one for me is hands down one of the greatest movies ever made. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, is the Blues Brothers. So you can all suck.
So that's a good one.
I I've watched that. I've watched it a million times, and it's just, I'm a huge Blues Brothers fan. So people are like, it ain't one of the greatest movies. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I mean, I can't turn it off. You know? Yeah.
Just the diner scene where he comes into Aretha's diner.
Oh my God.
I can watch that scene over and over.
It's unreal. But that's one of my tops. But then if you get into real cinema, Raging Bull to me is like, I'm a huge boxing fan, and what he did with the Jake LaMotta story was just, I mean, and in black and white, it just.
And that came out what, 1980?
Yeah, somewhere around 80, 81. 80. Yeah. And that film is just incredible.
That was just on Showtime the other day.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and it was funny. We were just talking to Lori. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off in a second. But it talks. So we were just talking. We had Lori on our last episode, and he was talking about how movies back in the day, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, it was a lot of two shots. They let the whole scene play out in the shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it with Kelly. Maybe I was watching. Was it? Yeah, I think it was Kelly, or maybe it was my son was sitting next to me, and he was sitting there, and he's going, kind of like, I don't. What am I watching? Like, why isn't it going to the next cut? Like, this is taking too long. This is kind of boring, right? But that was true cinema, right? That's great. Excellent choice.
Beautifully done. And I'm going to go into another genre, because I'm not going to pick from the same genre. So I'm going to go into another genre. Raiders of the Lost Ark is fucking.
My 9-year-old son will be over to hang out.
I mean, I had the biggest fight with Kevin Smith in grammar school because I was a huge James Bond fan. I love James Bond, and he came back from a matinee of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's like, I just saw this movie. He'll kick the shit out of James Bond. He's the coolest guy ever, blah, blah, all this bullshit. And I'm like, fuck you. He ain't, nobody's better. I went to see it the next night, and I came back to school, and I was like, holy shit, dude. This movie is amazing.
Great film.
Great. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's hard to narrow down three, but off the top of my head, those three are just,
good picks.
Great picks. Great picks. Well, Ernie, thank you so much for coming on. You want to plug anything real quick before we go?
I mean, make your way to Smod Castle Cinemas. Come see a movie. Support the independent theaters. I mean, fuck streaming. We're in Atlantic Highlands. We're cheap. We're inexpensive. Come there. Bring your movies to us. We'll give you a great deal to show your independent movies. And check out our website, smodcastlecinemas.com, for our upcoming events. And look forward to What Lives Here, that I star and produce with my boy Troy Burbank. What Lives Here will be coming out in a few months. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and look out, please, in the spring, the 4:30 movie that I got to have a small cameo in, but ultimately got to produce with my boy Kevin Smith, that we filmed in Atlantic Highlands and Leonardo. And I'm very excited about that. Big production.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Man, thank you
so much. Man.
Really, really appreciate it. Hang on here for a second with us. So,
yep.
Another great guest, man. Awesome.
Great guest.
Another great conversation about independent filmmaking, New Jersey. I think I come out of that is just, it's the hustle, man. Just do the hustle. Lot of hustle. So thank you very much for watching. Our show is brought to you by our sponsor, Central Jersey Nursery in Hillsborough, New Jersey. So make sure we are in the holiday season. So go out there, get your Christmas tree, get your
poinsettia.
And
hey, don't eat the poinsettia, eh?
Don't let the dogs eat the poinsettia. Get some poinsettia all over the floor.
Thank you, guys. What the hell is that?
Oh, that's my other meeting coming in. It's like starting already.
Go ahead, Ernie. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome to the 624 Pod, your home for all things independent films. We're going to discuss all the positives and negatives when it comes to independent filmmaking. We're going to have incredible guests from the film industry talk about behind-the-scenes experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, and how the industry has changed in the past 10, 20
minutes.
Yeah, minutes, hours, years. That's the point. It's always changing. And of course, we will always focus on independent filmmaking right here in our state of New Jersey. I'm Tom Baldinger.
And I'm Mark Rigodano.
All right, let's do this.